You have tuned into the BearDown Corner with your host, Sergeant Holio. Hey everybody, this is the BearDown Corner. I'm your host, Sergeant Holio. Let's get you caught up on Week 18's action and what led to the playoffs. All right, so we had Carolina going into Buccaneers, Tampa Bay, Saturday afternoon game. The highlight was more or less a back-and-forth contest, hard-fought contest, 2 touchdowns thrown by Bryce Young. Cade Otton had 7 of 94 and a touchdown. The Bucs grinded out a 16-14 win. Now, that wasn't it, though. The Bucs also needed the Saints to either win or tie on Sunday. But Saturday also hosted the number 1 overall seed in the NFC up for grabs, and that was between Seattle and the 49ers. Little behold, Seattle's defense was destructive. They held a very explosive 49ers offense to 3 points as they grinded out a 13-3 victory, with running backs accumulating for about 170 yards as Kenneth Walker went for 97 yards and Zach Charbonnet went for 74 yards and a touchdown. This team, and no turnovers by Sam Darnold, by the way. So this team plays like this, they will outwin you. Simple as that. They will grind you to the nose on defense, and offensively they'll do just enough to move the ball and get you the points necessary. And I'm talking like tight, hard-fought games. Like the 49ers are not a slack team. They are a dangerous 12-5 team and should be taken serious. But they did not get the first round bye. That went to the Seattle Seahawks. Congratulations, Seahawks fans. Detroit went into Chicago, where we were hoping to even this season series, but it was to no avail. We finished 0-2 against the Lions this year, but we did have a better record than them and took the division. Now, we head into the playoffs in a rematch against the Green Bay Packers. That was already a given. They were a number 7 lock, resting starters and whatnot on Sunday, but you know what? Armand Watts St. Brown, 11 catches, 139. Really hope Dennis Allen gets this group in order, because, man, if he doesn't, you can have all the hard football you want. You don't need to be trying to play goddamn Wildcats in the 4th fucking quarter. Let's get it together, Bears. Now, talking about Green Bay, they went into Minnesota, where they rested all their stars. Minnesota grinded out 16 points, with Justin Jefferson having 101 yards to help move the ball for them. Tennessee went into Jacksonville. Jacksonville just fucking slaughtered these guys. 41-7. Fucking Trevor Lawrence, 3 touchdowns, 22 of 30, and 255. This man is not just passing to one guy. He's passing to all his guys. I think Trevor Lawrence might have figured things out, especially with Liam Cohen at the helm. Jacksonville could be a threat for a few years to come. They took division, though, with this win, as they were hoping for a number 1 seed with a loss by the Denver Broncos, but we'll get to that in a little bit here. We got Indianapolis went into Houston, where, you know what, I'm not even going to give credit to the goddamn offense or anything here. They moved the ball just enough to allow Kymie Fairbairn to make 6 goddamn field goals. Well, why is your kicker having to make 6 fucking field goals? And also, the score was 31-30. And on the final play of the game, they were trying all the backwards pass bullshit. They got fumbled and they returned it for a touchdown. Houston did. So this was a close game. And it made some people wonder, should this Riley kid have been maybe started the last 3 games, right? Given Indianapolis a situation. They had an 8-2 head start. Even though they lost Daniel Jones. You know what? If this kid could have played like this the last 3 weeks, whole nother story for the Colts. I like the Phillip Rivers story. I do. I really do. He's even being looked as a head coaching potential candidate, but he's already said, I'm not doing that. He might get one interview, but like, he's going back to coach his high school football at St. Mary's Catholic and go live his life. He has his new 5-year renewed fucking insurance. He's a happy man. Yeah, Houston takes that one 38-30. Dallas went into New York where the Giants came out and stole the show. Looking like a team that could hopefully maybe make some noise next year. If assembled correctly, they might be able to. They have enough stars. They have enough talent in that room. Offensively, they start getting things clicking, and defensively, they make just an extra play here or there. They can be right in it. 34-17 the final. Tyrone Tracy had 103 yards rushing, 8 catches for 56 yards and a touchdown receiving. Jackson Dart threw 2 touchdowns, 230 in the air, and completed 22 of his 32 attempts. Good outing. Good final showing for the fans in New York. Cleveland went into Cincinnati where Myles Garrett, and we're not even going to talk the offense. Joe Burrow threw 3 touchdowns in a comeback attempt, but it was to no avail. The Cleveland defense caused 2 turnovers and scored 2 touchdowns on those turnovers on an interception return and a fumble return. Okay? And the issue for Cincy is they technically should have had the lead, in all fairness, if goddamn Evan McPherson would make his fucking extra points. He missed 2 extra points. That's why they had to do the 2-point attempts. And it failed. And that was to try and tie it at the end. Cleveland holds on for the 2018 victory as the offense looked like shit and Myles Garrett showed why they paid him $40 million. All right. You have New Orleans and the Falcons. This was going to determine the NFC South Division winner that was going to send an 8-9 team to host a playoff game. And I say it exactly like that because we have to have a little discussion after this. So New Orleans goes in. Falcons go back and forth. Each team had 4 field goals. And Falcons with just a little bit more at 19-17 the final. Zane Gonzalez kicked 4 field goals for the Falcons. That's why I highlighted that, because they were having kicker issues this year. Major kicker issues. But maybe he'll be their starter going into next year. Falcons send the Carolina Panthers at 8-9 to host a playoff game in Charlotte. I don't think they should host a playoff game, though. You make the playoffs because you win division. But this hosting a playoff game, shit needs to end. Los Angeles Rams are a 12-5 Super Bowl contender going on the road to go perform in front of a crowd of what? Fucking shouldn't even be in playoffs? 8-9 should not get you in playoffs. It just shouldn't. We need parity for sure. Yes, NFL. But a losing record team in the playoffs just doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. Miami went into New England where Rashad Stevenson had himself a day with 7 attempts on the ground for 131 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 22 yards on 2 catches and 1 touchdown. So the running back is getting himself going. Tre'Davion Henderson is also making splash as he finished off very well to finish with them. New England takes the 38-10 and they're rolling as the number 2 seed in the AFC. Arizona went into Los Angeles Rams. They're 12-5, like we said. Handled business easily. Matthew Stafford 4 more touchdowns on the season, 259 in the air, 25 completions on 40 attempts. Washington and Philly played in Philadelphia, where Josh Johnson, the 39-year-old veteran quarterback of backups, went one passing touchdown, one rushing touchdown, and helped Washington grind out a match that was just a battle of the backups, really. So Philly takes number 3 seed. New York Jets against Buffalo. Mitch Trubisky played at quarterback for the Bills this game so that they can rest Josh Allen. New York just gave up 5 touchdowns in 2 quarters to Drake May, you know, the elite young talent of New England. But they also just gave up 4 touchdowns and 259 yards to Mitch Trubisky and a bunch of backups. Patriots fans, not trying to put any doubt, but we're going to see some suspicious as New England goes up against seasoned teams. Let's put it that way. At 13-4, they lost out to Denver, who got the number 1 seed. As LA went into Denver and Denver grinded out Will Lutz 4 field goals and they had a defensive interception return touchdown. So like they just did Denver things. Yeah. I'd be wondering because you got, what was it? Houston finished as the 5. And shit, who the hell does? They don't have Buffalo, do they? No, I think Buffalo's in Jacksonville. So what, they got the Chargers? Chargers are the last AFC team then? Huh. Well, I guess we'll see if the Chargers make an upset this weekend. Yay, man. Kansas City lost to the Las Vegas Raiders. Wow, what a shit fest to lose to the team that has the number 1 overall pick now. Each team had 4 field goals. And the Raiders came away with the safety to finish off. Aaron Rodgers helped lead the Pittsburgh Steelers to the AFC North division title as he went 31-47, 294 in a heated 4th quarter that led to victory for his team. They will be hosting, well, no, they're 4th. Yeah, they host Houston this weekend. Yeah. Fuck. Gonna be some good football. Some good playoff football, I tell ya. Son of a bitch. We're gonna crown some new champions. I don't think Eagles are gonna make it out of the first round. Yeah. Seahawks. Here's some news and notes, sorry. Seahawks sign offensive lineman Charles Cross to a 4-year, $104.4 million extension. $75 million guaranteed, and it adds on to his 5th-year option they already picked up for next season. Jets finish with 0 interceptions to make it official as they are the, I guess, top of the bottom of that category. The previous record was held by the 2018 49ers, who finished with 2. These guys finished with 0. You have officially locked yourselves as the all-time leader. Bad stat to be a leader in. Head coach carousel already in the works as Black Monday took place. Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen are going to be retained by the Colts going into 2026. Charlie Irsay came out and made it known, you know, these 2 guys, they led us to a point. We had some injuries. They're going to come back again next year and try and be as strong as they were. Head coach Raheem Morris of the Atlanta Falcons and GM Terry Fontenot is how you pronounce, or at least that's how I pronounce it, have been fired in Atlanta. New regime coming for Arthur Blank and the Falcons. I don't blame them. You had no playoffs. with 5 years worth of first top 10 picks invested on this team, and you can do shit. So I don't blame them for firing him. Browns fire Kevin Stefanski, head coach. I think Stefanski's going to get more looked at. He could even get a head coach, depending where he goes. But I think he'll take a coordinator job, at least this next season. But he's a good coach. That whole situation was the GM Barry's problem. He's the one that made that bad trade and contract sign for Deshaun Watson. You knew the guy was being criminally investigated, for Christ's sake. You know his style of character. I'm sorry, but 43 goddamn accusations, like, you can get off with all of them, but we already fucking know that many people don't make the same goddamn accusation. Bad moves by the Browns. Seems like history repeats itself. Cincinnati Bengals are keeping head coach Zach Taylor for the 2026 season. This does not surprise me. The Brown family is very cheap, and they will retain coaches that should have been fired for at least 3 seasons. Cardinals move on from head coach Jonathan Gannon. Just wasn't meant to be. They lost Kyler Murray, basically deactivated him, put him in IR, said to hell with it. He's no longer the quarterback of the Cardinals. He tried to get it done with Brissett. It was fun to watch, but I don't know, man. Your specialty is defense, and you guys went and invested on defense and couldn't stop shit. If they had a defense, let's just say, example, Seattle, in their own division, Brissett can play well enough to get you them points. He'll score you 20 points a game. He'll score you 25. He's maybe not getting you 30, 40 like fucking Matthew Stafford. Right? Like, Matthew Stafford this year against teams with really good defenses still was able to score. Now, they did lose some games, even in those shootouts, but they can play with the best of them. And after 1 year, Pete Carroll has been fired from the Las Vegas Raiders. That is no shocker either. Tom Brady's probably going to head most of that crap coming in the offseason. And maybe the Raiders come back to prominence. Who knows? As the head coaching spots become available, we have a total count of 6 vacancies. And one that I found shocking, which is how we're going to end today's segment. I came across the article with coming right out of the Miami Post, all right, Post Gazette, whatever their local paper is. And in the sit down between it was comparisons of the the owner Stephen Ross, and the Mike McDaniel situation in Miami. Tua's out. He's already saying he wants out. He's like, I'd be okay basically playing somewhere else out of Miami. He's already said that. He's gone. Mike McDaniels is coming back. The offense will be centered around Devon Chain. They're going to try and figure out some things in the offseason and see what this team looks like. It might work. And this is why I'm not surprised that at least at this current time and moment, most reports are going towards saying he's not going to be fired. He's going to be head coach of 2026 Miami Dolphins. His offense might be able to get back to that prominence. Because when you have Quinn Ewers playing well enough, at least within your system like that, why couldn't you make it work with either him or just a better quarterback? Go and draft a kid. You get a chance now. If you are as good as an offensive guru that you're supposed to be, Mike, you'll figure out a rookie to make you a hot turnaround. All right. At least then, if you fail in his second season and then go do better in his third, it doesn't matter. All right. You showing that, all right, we can take this guy, make him into this, good to go. Tua looked like he was lost in traffic, eyes crossed, and fucking didn't know what to throw with his left or his right hand. I wish you luck, Mike, as you deserve a fair shot without an incapable quarterback. But as for everything else, that's going to do it for now. And for me, this is the Bear Down Corner. I'm Sergeant Julio. You can catch us live every Tuesday morning, 6 o'clock General Mountain Time, 8 o'clock everywhere else, Eastern Standard. Available anywhere you can get your podcasts, Spotify, and of course, YouTube. Take care, be safe. You all have been fantastic. And once again, this is the Bear Down Corner.